We're live.
We are live, so welcome everyone to the election coverage. I'm currently alone on the stage as my co-anchor here, the wonderful Poem Hunter. Hey Poem, how are you?
Good, I'm good. How are you doing it?
I'm good. Poem's currently on his way to the, I believe, on his way to the. You will have to see. Oh, let me just mute the stream before. I don't want to hear myself twice. And yeah. So it looks like it's election results time. That's come along quick, surprisingly, but we shall have to see. Oh yes, we can hear donut to ice, says Dadwax. So good. You might have just heard. I'm cracking open my first Pepsi Max of the election. Oh, twice. I see. My voice is duplicate. Right.
Looking into that. One sec.
He's looking into that. Perfect. So yeah, I've opened up my first Pepsi Max can of the night. I think we should have a running count of how many Pepsi Max cans I actually get through. Are you coming to the studio, Poem, or are you going to be just calling in the entire time?
I should be coming. I'm just trying to set it up.
Yeah, he's just running. He's on his way. His train is late. You see, it's a bit difficult. So, as I say, I think it should be a little over. Is it 2 hours until the election results? Or is it just under 2 hours? How are we looking on?
Well, welcome, DOS Secretary Gold-Blooded.
I have an election update. Deadwax and Mahad both have 7 confirmed votes so far.
But Mahad. Oh, well, thank you very much. Thank you for letting me know that. How long is our ETA until we have a clear winner on this?
Actually, how it's looking is less than an hour at this point.
Less than an hour.
Yeah,
that's good news.
Like actually, quite quickly with how fast they're counting.
That's good to hear. In the meantime, we'll probably have to discuss. Oh, looks like my screen behind me has gone green on the stream. That's very interesting. As I say, anyone who is currently watching in can send messages in through the Discord stream. I will be reading those off if you have any messages. However, also if you want to send any messages in #politics, I will also read them off as well. And I'm also keeping an eye on the in-game chat. So there's something to talk about, because otherwise I will just have to riff the dead air, which, you know, I feel like I can do. But,
okay, riffing. Come on now.
I can riff. I can keep going, but that's, you know, at the end of the day, I don't want to have to start getting out my joke book and start reading jokes, you know, for everyone. So
fine.
Let's have a look here. So right now, as you can see, we are looking at a 7 votes versus 7 votes for both Mahad, for the Mahad campaign and the Deadwax campaign. So we are just waiting on more results now. Poem, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
So what are you thinking tonight? Is how are you think it's going to look?
Well, this is a controversial election. It's not been particularly spicy within the debates, but the outside factors that have led up to this election, with candidates dropping out and VP candidates potentially, you know, having certain issues in the near future, it has made it quite spicy. Now, I believe Mahad was the favourite to win from the start, but that could have, yeah. So this all could change based on literally the drama that's been leading up to this election.
I think the hot button issue sort of led up to this election is issue of corruption and its part in politics. We've just got a comment in, by the way, from Roxtrox2. Isn't this the host from yesterday's roast? Yes, this is. I'm popping up all over your I'm all over your screens. So, you know, watching. Yeah. Yeah, no, most definitely. I think the issue of sort of corruption and that has been a major factor in the lead up to this election, and I think it's going to be. I think at the end of the day, I think that's going to be the decider. Side of which is a shame because both these candidates have posed some interesting policies and some interesting stuff. I don't think that matters to most people. I don't think that's been a decision that's come into most people's minds. I think that thing that people are going to be making their decision based on is essentially just who they think is the more where they think the corruption it falls on corruption. Like, I don't know about you, but that's what I think things are. Where it's going to go, which is a shame, as I say, because I personally don't think either campaign is particularly guilty of corruption. There's allegations made, but nothing so far as I understand has been completely proven in the public. There's stuff all over the place, but so to have this mess and this sort of cloud for the election, it's kind of disappointing.
It is actually. Now, obviously, as a senator, I can't talk about certain investigative committees and things like that, but I think it has had an effect on how people have seen the candidates, how people have voted, and I wonder, will we see that effect in the result tonight? So I'm just having some technical difficulties here. One second. I should be actually at the stadium now.
I'll riff for a bit. Give me one second. I'm just going to message a bit of dead air here.
Right, let's see.
Yeah. So no, and I think, as you said, definitely, after everything that happened, obviously, where the previous one of the previous front runners, the presidential election leading up to it, Milky, dropped out because of allegations of corruption. And obviously we have Deadwax comes in, steps up to the bat and becomes the front runner as well, aside Mahad. Then obviously we've had these allegations of corruption against Ex-Laser, the running mate of Mahad. Then everyone remembers the famous lines from the debate. During the debate, Deadwax said that he believes corruption should be allowed to exist. Didn't clarify his position, but as I understand it, what he meant was, he thinks the players, the role play aspect, have the ability to be corruption, however, but that's been, people have been saying that he's the pro-corruption candidate. Oh, I've just seen that you're actually here. Hello, mate. How are you doing?
Hello. Hey, I'm good. I eventually managed to get here.
Yeah, it was a long commute, but now we're here. Yeah, I think essentially that is the central issue. Sadly, it's what it's going to come down to.
Do you think this will be known as the corrupt election?
Maybe the corruption election, not necessarily the corrupt. A corrupt election would be pretty damning for our democracy.
This is something you could see the Daily Rag potentially writing a juicy article on.
Yeah, so I am here partly as a representative of the Daily Rag. As I do have a couple of, I'm going to sort of feed a couple of the results of the Daily Rag's poll for this election. Speaking of which, obviously, the Daily Rag did do a poll on the election results, which at some point before we actually announce the results, we'll be sort of dropping the opinion poll, so to speak, and the exit poll, we'll call it, before we actually get the actual results. So yeah, if everyone who hasn't yet filled out that poll, please go and do so, so we can get an accurate exit poll. That would be really good. So yeah, but I could see this, as you say, going down in history as the corruption campaign. Let's have a look at some of our comments in the Twitch stream now. So we have. Let me have a look here. So we've got a question from Adventurous Akio. So when we find out who's president, so basically, Essentially, we think right now it's under an hour. We're about an hour away, maybe just under an hour for the results, according to the DOS. We will, once the DOS has more results, they will be messaging us, letting us know how their count is going, I believe. So we're just waiting on that. As I say, we've got another question here, another statement here, sorry, from Mr. C Guy. I hope Honey just tries to start a dictatorship with his time left. Yeah, that was a funny result of the little roast we had the other day, isn't it? We had, it seems, I believe Honey's now president. Is that right?
Well, after yesterday's little brawl, shall we say, and what was decided between the two people involved, it appears that Honey is president at the minute.
So you never know. Might just see a Honey dictatorship after all. However, I do think that is unlikely. Someone said, Donut, do you know the winning candidate will host an in-game celebration? I can't speak for the candidates, but I don't see there wouldn't be an in-game revelry, so to speak. Maybe it'll be a street party. Maybe it'll be an actual thing. I do believe the winner is going to give a speech when it is announced. So yeah, let's have a look here. Someone says, Donut, what is your stance on the corruption allegations? Officially, as a member of this show, my position is very clear. You know, the position of the DPA, I believe we are here for, is no position. And that is the position we'll be taking this evening. They are just allegations. Me personally, I have opinions, but they are not the subject of discussion tonight. I think that's the same for you as well, Poem. I think even more so as a senator.
Yeah, I really cannot comment on the said matters because it would be a huge breach of my role, especially as chairman of the committee.
Well, there we go then.
Not only am I on the committee, but I'm chairman of it.
Yeah, so it needs to be impartial. I have a question. Another question, Mr. Will we have interviews on here with the candidates? We are going to have a phone in at some point. I don't know how we're going to sort of approach that. I'm just sort of waiting for DMs to appear in my messages about updates on the count or updates on if someone's going to come in as a call-in. So we'll have to see. It's an evolving media, so to speak. We have Adventurous Akio saying, the voting was on Google Forms. You get the votes instantly, right? Why was there another hour to wait? But the Google form you're referring to is actually the Daily Rags exit poll. The official. I mean, I'm more than happy for the Daily Rag to declare the presidency based on our polling. However, I don't think that. So yeah. Cool. So let's have a look here. I believe we've exhausted all our avenues of discussion from comments right now. So, Poem.
Oh yes.
Before we have a start with looking at policies from either the Derpy campaign or the Mahad campaign. What do you think?
Oh, let's have a look at the Derp one, I say first.
Derpy policies, right?
Yeah.
I say Derpy, Deadwax Derpy. Sorry, no. Deadwax Derpy's policies. Let's have a look here. So, they've got quite a few policies, and as I say, realistically, this election should be decided on policies and not we've got a comment here, Poem, from another comment from Mr. C Guy. Donut, you sound a lot like James Corden. What is your mind on this matter?
Oh.
Okay. The stream, you may now see seeing, by the way, the stream has did just cut out for a second there. Apologies, that was our cameraman timing out. That won't happen again. No, with the James Corden thing, I think both Poe and I can agree. Is one of the worst insults you can levy upon a British person.
Yes, I would concur.
So I will see you in court.
This slanderous accusation.
yeah, these accusations. Uh, oh, um, so cool. So as I say, looking back on some policies, then we've got here. Deadwork Survey Campaign has put out a campaign on commission salaries. So they're basically proposing a end to wages, completely, and moving it to commission and salary pay. Now, this I think is realistically a flagship proposal of the Deadworks Therapy campaign, from what I got from the and it's a huge change the way things operate. So instead of having so when you have a government job right now, you're paid every 15 minutes, I believe.
15 minutes, I get $35.
Yeah. So every 15 minutes, if you have a government job, you receive a certain amount of money from the government. The Dead White Derpy campaign is arguing that a lot of jobs actually do a lot of their work outside of the game, so to speak. I think that's a fair point. That's something that I've always, when I was a rep, I remember when I was a representative back in the I think it was the 4th or 7th, I can't remember which one. One of the congresses. I just remember it being the most functional congress ever to exist.
Majority days, was that?
Yeah. Either way, I remember that I didn't had no time. I had no play time in game when I was a rep because I just spent so much time in rep discords and in So yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can see that being a popular policy for certain jobs. Other jobs, maybe not so. Right? Police officers, have to be in the game, right?
Yeah, they have to be on the beat. So
exactly. So I think as a policy, it's very interesting. I think that all in all, interesting proposal. I think we had brought up something in the debate about which it would cost, because it'd be quite expensive, but to have a set work salary, so to speak. But it'd be an interesting thing to say the least. So moving on, one of the things that I really like about the Dead by Derpy campaign is they have, and this is really like in the sense that I find it funny, is they have this whereas when they're presenting their plans and policies, they're not saying that they
election update. Both candidates have 35 votes each.
Oh my goodness, we're down to the
what was
wire
it?
right here.
35 votes.
35 both candidates have 35 votes.
That is tight.
I mean, it's going to be. I think they're actually just staying with us at this point. But however, so yeah, we've moved a lot, and it's jumped up a lot, and so now we're on 35. So still 50-50 split with no clear front runner now. So realistically, I mean, that's 70 votes counted so far. There could be that many more votes, can there?
That's the thing. How many more votes are going to be in? And then you got to remember spoiled ballots as well.
I'm sure they've already counted the spoiled ballot. I mean, yeah, I'm sure they've already counted for that. So 35 actual votes each. It's down to the neck and neck, which is, which is kind of what my polling that I've done so far has suggested. The polling that I've done so far has suggested the server's very split.
No, I just before we actually go maybe to one of the candidates to pop in, I've just seen an interesting question here, Donut, pop up from Mr. Stiegel, and he's asked if the election ties, what happens?
Very good question. I actually don't know, since I remember the last time I was here. If the election ties, goes to Congress, doesn't it?
I'm not too sure.
That was how it used to be when I was, but that was that was 16 months ago. I believe that was the case. Oh goodness me, that is a good point. Let's have a look.
Do they have a runoff election?
Let's have a look at my favorite.
So remember during the Austin presidency versus Zab, they had a runoff against 1950, wasn't it?
imagine that would be the case. It'd be a runoff election. Let's have a look at my favorite place in the world, the most holy document to ever exist, the Constitution.
Yes.
Presidential election should be concluded for an instant single transferable vote. If no candidate receives a majority in any presidential election, a 24 runoff election should be held at the soonest time possible. The two highest voted candidates should be on the listed ballot. So potentially, yeah, if this is a 50-50 split, it could be a runoff election, which would actually be very interesting because my polling suggests that as of right now, 20% of people who voted for Mahad suggest that they regret that vote.
Really? And I
So
think
20% of all people, according to my polling is not going to be accurate, but 20% of anyone who have said they yes, the question that they regret voting for Mahad. That is a direct result, I believe, of the corruption lists and allegations surrounding this election. I can just want to do a shout out, by the way, to Peonies, who is I believe does such good work in the Senate. I'm sure Poem Hunter can agree with me.
yes. I must say I've enjoyed my time working so far with all my Senate colleagues.
So that's as I say. My polling does suggest that. The interesting thing as well is my polling suggests a further 20% are not sure they regret. So only 60% of Mahad voters absolutely stand by their position to vote for the Mahad laser ticket, which is quite shocking, really. I mean, it's not it's quite an interesting thing, because obviously these allegations and this story, the whole corruption thing, it really pulled up to heat 24 hours after the polls had opened. And once people have cast their votes, they can't change them, right? Those votes are cast. So to have only 60% of Mahad laser voters completely stand by their position, it's very interesting. I will say 100% of Deadwax voters stand by their decision to vote for Deadwax.
So that is firm support to Deadwax from his campaign.
I think if there was a runoff election, I think it would be a given who would win. Unless, of course, we had more of a mess around that.
Now, since we're getting this sort of feedback, maybe we should invite one of the presidential hopefuls, Mahad or Deadwax, to comment on this.
It'd be interesting if either of them wanted to. We'd be more than welcome to have a chat with them. Mahad or Dead, whoever to sort of get to the first thing. Should we message them?
Yeah, I'll just contact Mahad now, see if he wants to come on the air.
I'll contact Deadwax. Let's see if we can chat to Mahad actually, because obviously we've been talking about sort of to regret, so to speak. And as there's only an opinion poll, it's not it's not a given, it's not an actual
True. Opinion polls have been wrong in the past.
Absolutely. So it's it's just a guide really, and something to talk about.
Well, I've got Mahad, and he's going to be coming on now. Mahad, can you hear us?
Hello.
Mahad,
Welcome.
how are you?
I'm doing pretty well. I would like to preface that I am sick right now, so my voice might sound horrendous.
Oh, you sound like I wanted to say, how's the old COVID treating you?
I think it's on its way out. That's the hope.
Good. Well, so obviously, Mahad, have you been listening into the show so far?
I have.
Obviously, the Daily Rag polling, it's not for definite, right? It is just an opinion poll. And it's still open, by the way. If anyone wants to add further responses, they can find the links in the latest Daily Rag article or in hashtag campaign. And I definitely encourage people to go and fill that out. However, as I say, how do you respond to the idea that potentially 20% of people who voted for you are saying that they regret voting for you?
Well, I do understand why some people that voted for me do have this this idea. Definitely, the whole situation with Laser came to a huge shock for our entire campaign, really, and I needed to take a step back and reconsider my options. And so I do understand why some voters may feel betrayed. Like I definitely agree with that sentiment. But if it does end up working out in the end, and I am still chosen by the people, I wish to look forward to the future, either with or without Laser, depending on how the congressional investigation ends.
So just another thing I thought I'd comment on, unless you have something you wanted to add, Poem.
Oh, no, please proceed.
So, as part of the opinion poll, we asked people, about where they fell in the belief of guilt, so to speak. So, 52% of respondents said that they believe that Laser was guilty of the corruption charges, with only 30% saying they did not. So that's a 20% saying they're not sure, 50%, saying they were sure, they definitely believed he was guilty. So 30% of the population, testing that they believe that he, was involved with this corruption thing. Following on from the story as well, obviously there's this evolving narrative to basically say that, potentially that that this evolving narrative that is, again, it's just allegations at this point. No one knows anything for sure. And if you don't want to talk about this is fine. But potentially you had some involvement in that. Obviously, you denied that, correct?
Yeah, I do deny that. It really just came as a huge shock to the campaign. Like, obviously, I wouldn't want to keep Laser on as a candidate if I had known like how terrible these allegations would have been. I chose to stand by him, and as we may find out, it might have been the wrong decision. But at the end of the day, I think I still had a lot of fun with this campaign, and yeah, I'm excited to see the result.
Yeah. So you might be interested to learn though. Asked the question if they thought that you were involved. 33% of respondents said that they think you were involved. That you had some involvement.
Was that 33%?
33%, yeah. So one in three.
Okay.
Contribute.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I definitely understand the sentiment.
A further 15% said they weren't sure. So
Yeah.
basically,
Right. No, I get what you're saying. I'll just agree with what Azel is saying in voice chat right now. Congress didn't find anything that
absolutely, I'm not saying that
had any knowledge, and I stand by this. I stood by Laser because I believed in him. This may prove to have been the wrong choice, and I do take responsibility for helping to facilitate this. But I was not involved in any sort of shenanigans at all.
I've been kicked.
Yeah, I had the same problem.
Rejoin. Yeah, no, I had obviously, I fully, if it was my, we're trying to avoid personal opinions today, but I don't think you personally had any involvement. I just want to say, I have full faith in you. But however, yeah, I think that it's just interesting to know that there's this sentiment and this distrust right now going on. I can see a couple of people are asking where the opinion polls are. If you haven't yet filled out the Daily Rag opinion poll, you can do so if you want to go to #campaign. Go to #campaign to find the link to fill out the poll, or it's also at the end of the last Daily Rag article there. So as I say, we're looking for responses because the more responses we get, obviously it gives us a clearer view of public opinion. Yeah, Mahad, moving on from that, because I just wanted to get the sort of corruption allegations out of the way. Our campaign haven't actually had a chance yet to discuss your policies. So what would you say for your campaign is your number one policy, your flagship policy?
I would go with for a flagship policy. My whole plan with the contractors. This took a lot of working out, and it has It has support by
Hold
Lavender, which is
If I can just stop you,
hello.
Mahad, I believe we have
We have an
an
update.
update.
We
From
have an
DOS?
update. 54 in favor of Deadwax, 51 in favor of Mahad.
The Deadwake
Okay.
has a 3-point lead at the minute.
We have a 3-vote lead for Deadwax. Now, interestingly, this could be. Do you want to do a quick wiggle, by the way, behind the desk, but get disconnected?
Oh yeah, little wiggle.
A wiggle.
Wiggle.
Very interesting to hear. So obviously, at this point, Wax is taking the lead. Now, obviously, we need to. This could be dramatic reveal, but I don't believe. I believe they're just these votes are coming in as they're being counted. Gold-blooded.
What do you want to know?
You're giving us these results sort of as they're being counted. This is not a dramatic ploy to make it seem like give it a bit of tension.
No. These are coming in as I speak. Correct, Marty.
There we go.
54 for Deadwax, 51 for Mahad. I will
Thank you very much.
give you another update in like 5 minutes.
Thank you very much,
Perfect. Thank you,
Gold.
Gold.
What?
Thank you, Gold.
What? Oh,
So thank you.
Oh.
So thank you.
oh
So there we go.
your sexy English accent got me. I'm sorry.
Oh, stop it! You're making me blush.
That is the number one benefit of this election, which is that you do get 2 Englishmen sitting here
Oh,
discussing the results.
English.
I've nearly finished my first can of Pepsi Max, by the way, which is very interesting. I'll be on much more than.
Actually, now that I think about it, in 10 minutes I'll have the total results.
This is an
Do you hear that?
interesting question, Donut.
10 minutes, we'll have the final results. So,
Oh, will we?
with that, Mahad, we're going to move on very quickly, I'm afraid, because we have other people to talk to today.
Just before we bring Dead, if he comes up, we just had a very interesting question from a member of the audience called Intercepticon043, and he's asked, "Who have you both personally voted for and why?"
I don't think we should say, right, Pon?
I am not going to mention my vote either.
Oh, I'm gonna keep that close to my chest. However, people who are closely observing will be able to know who I have voted for. I think as
I
well
may
as
not
maybe,
have voted.
Yeah.
I may have.
Yeah. So moving on from that, thank you, Mahad, for your time here. We've had now we're going to invite Wax to come up to the. I'm going to invite Deadwax to come up to the stage if he wants to have a chat. Otherwise, Deadwax is here. Hello, Deadwax.
Hello, how are you?
Very well. Things are getting very interesting here in the studio. So, what do you think? You have currently got a 3-vote lead. How do you respond to that?
Oh, I'm excited. I hope it grows even higher.
So obviously as we said, the main kind of discussion around this election campaign has been this messy allegations of corruption. You yourself made comments in the debate stating you believe corruption should be allowed, and have labelled you the pro-corruption candidate. How do you respond to that?
Well, okay, yes, I may have put my foot in my mouth in the debate when we were talking about the corruption. It was the first question. It was kind of like I wasn't really ready, and essentially, I like corruption is in the game. It is. We have many laws against it. Myself, I am sorry. I am not for corruption. I want to catch the. Oh, something just happened to the stream.
Yeah, our communication link
Log
went
again.
down there,
Oh.
but it will be up shortly.
Once again, our camera went to the netherworld. He is back.
Deadwax is being raised to 60 votes.
Oh,
And what is Mahad on?
51.
Still on 51.
That is That is
9
another
point
6
lead.
votes for Deadwax, so that is a 9-point lead. It's all to play for. We got this is the way the ballots are counted, but right now it's looking pretty healthy for Deadwax camp. So sorry, Deadwax. Could continue.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm trying to remember where I was. Not myself. Not for corruption. I want to expose the corruption. That is the goal of my administration, is to look and find for the corruption that is occurring, because there is currently quite a lot of corruption going on.
So would this be your first act as president to crack down on the corruption?
No, I think probably my first act is I have a lot of new secretaries, so I want to ensure that most of the secretaries are, fitting in to their new job. I want to make sure that everyone is doing well. I want to focus on getting the financial reforms that I have in place. I want to make sure that those are in place. But don't get me wrong, the corruption is definitely going to be very, very close behind that.
If I could just ask, could we get a police officer in the studio? I think someone invisible is in here trying to kill me. They seem to be completely ignoring Poem.
Oh no, I was hit a couple times, but I pulled out this baby.
Okay.
So
We do have someone invisible somewhere in the
Deadwax's
studio.
votes. Election update. Deadwax's votes are being raised to 65. Mahad is staying at 51.
Okay.
Deadwax at 6.
14 vote rise. Gold, are we counting the votes as they came in? Basically.
5.
Is that how it's Gold?
Hmm.
Are we counting the votes? Are you counting the votes as they came in? Is this like a reflection of the? Oh, there's the invisible guy again. Is this a reflection of the how that went down, or what does that mean?
We're partially counting as they come in. This is all happening on a spreadsheet with 4 of my electoral officers that have been counting for me for the past half hour to 45 minutes.
So yeah, we need to I'm going to arm myself with my hoe.
I'll protect you, my donut. Don't worry.
Thank you. We do have an invisible person. We have the wonderful Peonies who is here to our invisible interloper. There they are. They're in front of me. They're here. I see them. Oh, right.
Hold
Anyway,
on, connecting my actual network.
okay, that's me on fire.
That may have been me by
I am currently bleeding, but that's fine. That's fine.
Hey, it's all part of the job.
Let's not let this distract from the real discussion, which is essentially if it is the fact that these results are as they came in, as what that would show really is, in the beginning it was very much a 50-50 split, right? That's what we're looking at. It was very much a 50 split, but then the moment these allegations came out, on after the first 24 hours of the election, the huge swing towards Deadwax. I think that's what we can test to that, right? Which I think again will make sure this election will go down as the corruption election. I think it's inevitable at this point.
Yeah, I think it's probably been defined as that. The votes are showing it to be that way. And I'm, to be honest, looking forward to the news titles in the morning.
So yeah, thank you, Deadwax. We're going to move on to another caller now. For some reason, we've got the Chief Justice, Crix, asked to join.
Oh, the Chief Justice giving a political opinion.
This will be the last caller as we have the results.
Last caller. So,
let's briefly get the Chief Justice in.
Yes, quickly.
We'll give him a couple of minutes of chat before we ask him to leave for various reasons. Crix,
Mr. Chief Justice, welcome.
Welcome to our. We will have to push you if you have any comments, just for very quick. There's comments to be very quickly made. There we go. We've killed the invisible person, everyone.
We finally
It
got
was
him.
adventurous Akio. They have been slaughtered, so that is good. Chris, wish to speak? You have to say something.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was live on the line here. Yeah, terrorist attacks, they're common in Aventura, with the succession movement and all that there. Yeah, so I guess it looks like it's going to be a fairly tight election. You can probably see that the in-game campaigning is going to make a dent at this stage in the race, if any of that's still going on. You could probably see from Dusty's special election there that can really make the difference.
Oh, I just want to update you. I believe it's 69 now votes. I've seen it.
Let's.
51.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your comments, Greg. We will have to go back to the OS, as I believe. Do we have a result, Gold?
We do have a result. With the greatest honor that I have of announcing the next president of the Commonwealth of Redmont, with a staggering 59.8% of the vote, Deadwex will be our next president of the Commonwealth of Redmont.
We are.
It is a 76 to 51 ratio of votes.
And with that, obviously, the announcement has been made with a staggering 59
President-elect.
to, what would that be, 41%. That is an 18% lead over the previous candidate. Have to see, obviously, as time evolves, how much of that 18% is dictated. However, we will now be going to the Capitol for a speech from Wax.
Well-
I am going to leave the stage because we are under attack here in the studio. Poem, it has been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure as always, Donut.
We'll be going to a short.
We keep speaking and keep some commentary going while we wait for Deadwax to make his announcement, or we move on.
We can do.
Well-
While we're being brutally murdered.
Do you want me to go to that location in game?
Oh, we still have Deadwex, our next president, on the line. Look at that. Apparently.
We're in luck. Congratulations, Deadwax. I would like to be the first person to congratulate you on your ascension to presidency. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hold on. I think I think we're looking to get you on you at the Capitol.
Inauguration.
Elect Deadwax.
You're not centered, Marty, by the way. There you go.
SMH.
Okay. I think I'm ready. Let me get my speech out. Now that all the votes have been counted, and what we have seen tonight is that many Redmontians want a plan. Some have said this nation is divided, but that is not what I've seen in the past few weeks. I've seen Redmontians standing together, and they stand together for fiscal responsibility, education reform, and new player retention. As Redmontians, you have elected my government to deliver on all of this, and I can tell you that our government is ready to take on these challenges. The time has come for real change, and you have given this government a clear mandate for this change. To all the other candidates, I thank you for being part of this election. Political life is not easy. This path you've chose is because you believe in serving. Thank you for your service, and I hope you continue to do so. To the Department of State and the election staff who have signed up to run this democratic process, thank you. And this election has proven that our elections and our democracy remain strong. Thank you to all of my campaign staff, who without you, I wouldn't be here today. And to the Redmontians, if you voted for me, thank you for putting your trust into me. And if you did not vote for me, I want you to know that I will still work for you and that my DMs are always open. Thank you, and have a good night.
think that was a absolutely marvelous speech from the President-elect Deadwax there.
Very great first comments there.
Yeah.
Like Deadwax. Be interesting to see now, obviously, what is going to be happening moving forward. Obviously, we now have the next couple of days will be dominated, I think, predominantly by stuff. I believe we have to be played now. The President-elect Deadwax.
Sorry, what was the question?
Said there was a song to be played.
Oh,
The song?
is Marty playing it? Who's
Playing it
playing
right
the
now.
song?
Oh,
Okay.
I didn't know there was a song. This is all
Yeah,
I'm finding out about.
I was told to choose a song, so I chose a song.
We can hear a song playing.
Oh, we
Oh,
can.
good. We can.
Oh, I have the stream muted. Oh, okay.
Me
playing
too.
it
Playing
right
the
now?
song.
I was hearing Donut twice. Once is enough.
Congratulations, Deadwax.
What's nice about this election is that there were very little disqualified votes from either side too.
Oh,
Very
really?
good to hear.
Deadwax
But
had
yeah.
9 disqualified, and Mahad had 6 disqualified.
There we go.
Out
That's
of
really interesting.
127 voters. That is crazy.
127 voters.
Yes.
Do we know how many votes were in the last presidential election?
80.
We're definitely seeing an uptick there in terms of activity, which is very nice to hear.
Yes.
Obviously, this will mean that the current president, whoever that may currently be, at this point, God knows, God only knows, will be now hopefully beginning the addition to the Deadwax administration. And yeah, looks like change is on the way to Redmond.
Indeed.
Is Deadwax the 11th or 10th president?
He is the
yeah.
11th.
11th, I believe, is the answer to that.
Yes, because
Me
Ian took the
69 is
10th
the-
spot.
I believe here he is the. Yeah, I do want to reiterate, by the way, how great Peonies was in defending us from the invisible attacker. I don't know if you saw this poem, but I think they set a home inside the studio.
It wouldn't have surprised me. I made a quick exit and met
They
the
kept
president
showing
in
up.
his speech.
I think they set a home inside the studio and just kept there. So that's very interesting.
I did get the bugger a couple times with the sword.
I don't know if you saw this. I saw. I didn't get one hit with my hoe, a single hit. But then you know, what can you do? There we are. There we are. Do we? If I think it's only fair. If Mahad, do you want to say any words?
Hello?
Mahad,
Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Alright, I'll just give my concession speech that I prepared, if that's alright with you.
I think we're free flowing this at this point, but yeah.
Okay. Alright. Hello, Redmont. This is not the situation I and many of us hoped for, but it's what we ended up with. But that's okay. It seems like Deadwax will make a decent president. He's not tied up in scandals and is broadly liked by Redmont, having a high approval rating. It's important that we move on and support our new president. I'll continue to work tirelessly in Congress to implement what I wanted to do had I won the election. Good luck, President-elect Deadwax.
That was a very gracious speech by
Very gracious.
Had there.
And obviously, you know, that peaceful conceit of the election is paramount. Really, it's the most important thing for the future of our democracy. So, and can be commended for that. And obviously, despite everything that's gone on with your campaign, you personally, I feel, ran a very fair campaign. So, perhaps you'll be known as one of the great presidents we didn't have. I'm sure you'll continue to do great work in the house.
Thank you very much.
Perfect. So, if I could just get a indication from the DPA, they want us to keep riffing, discussing potential things that might change under the Deluxe campaign.
So just a heads up, I think Deadwax plans to slam a door in front of Snow's face, so we'll keep a close eye on that, but otherwise that concludes the stream for now.
Well, I have been Nauticus and
Pime Hunter.
thank you for tuning in. It's been a pleasure.